When you're working in Photoshop, it's a good idea to understand some of the color spaces that you'll be dealing with. I'm going to talk about the three most commonly used color spaces, which are located under the image menu. And you see under the mode, we have grayscale, index color, RGB, CMYK, and others. So I'm going to talk about RGB, CMYK, and grayscale. Let's start off with RGB, which stands for red, green, and blue color. When you're in RGB mode, you want to make sure that the project you're creating is going to be seen on the computer screen or on a television monitor or even on movie screen. Whenever you're dealing with pixels that are projected, such as what you'd see on TV or on a computer monitor, you are dealing with RGB values, red, green, and blue, which are the primary colors. Then those three colors combine to make the gazillions and zillions of colors that you see when you're watching TV and when you're watching something on the web or you're playing a video game on the computer. So once again, if you're going to stay in the realm of the computer monitor or a TV monitor, the RGB space is where you're going to be. Now, if you're going to go to press, you're going to make a magazine, for example, you're going to go to CMYK color. This stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. The four colors are combined on a printing press to give you all the colors you see on a magazine cover, for example. So what happens is, when your printer is printing your magazine, the magazine is divided into four passes. So as the artwork goes through the ink, it goes through one of these four colors, and then each color is added one at a time until you have all the combinations to give you your millions of colors for your magazine. So once again, if you're going to go to an output of some kind with a printing press, then CMYK is going to be your best bet. Now, grayscale is helpful when you want to work in values that are in grayscale or are no color information except for the values from light to dark, the 256 values from 0 to 255. So what you do is you discard the color information, and then you're working in grayscale at this point. And you'll also notice that when you're in grayscale, a lot of the filters can still be applied. For example, you can still put a Gaussian blur on, and you can still work in all of the other modes, but you won't have the color information. So make sure that, if you want to make sure you're going to print in color, stay in one of these modes here. So grayscale is nice when you want to achieve some kind of photographic effect, or you want to, try to create some nice color balance and some kind of nice mood. And I'll just talk about one more actually. This is dual tone. And dual tone kind of gives you that interesting effect as you'd see in one of those old-fashioned movies. So you can choose a color for your duotone. You can choose black, and you can choose something like a sepia color, and then you could have this nice duotone feel for your images. And that's once again like those old photographs of your grandmother when she was a young lass going to the hop and that kind of thing. So the color modes are up here, and sometimes when you're working in Photoshop, if one or more of your files is in a different color space, such as index color, and you're trying to bring it into another image that's RGB, and you're not able to drag that into the other image, make sure you just go up here and take a quick look at what mode it's in and just change it to the appropriate mode so you can work with it in Photoshop.